Hello there, everyone. Welcome to our topic on regulating emotions. And for this particular topic, we are going to get into an activity of think, feel, act. In order to run this activity, I have with me over here some materials. In this box, there are some think, feel, and act cards. So if I were to open this box over here, what I will see are this bunch of cards. So these are some think cards. As you can see, these represents certain thoughts that a person may have. For example, here, a thought could be what will support both of our long-term goals. And there are different cards here which could represent different thoughts. In fact, they are all colored differently. And sometimes I may even encounter an empty or blank card like this. This could represent a thought that I may have, but does not resemble any of these cards over here. In that case, I may be choosing a blank card for myself. So in order for us to do this activity, I would like to share my own think, feel, and act. And this is based on a situation, something that has been upsetting to me recently. And it has to do with the COVID-19 situation where I'm currently in my home with the movement control order in effect. So what had happened recently is that there is a discussion on a Facebook group where quite a number of people are blaming others for not wearing face masks while they are outside getting their daily necessities. So in that situation, I immediately had a thought, and my thought sounds something like this. She or he is being stupid or unreasonable. And the reason for this is because there aren't any face masks available right now. And there is a severe world shortage of protective equipment. And even the frontliners, our doctors, our nurses, who are significantly at risk in terms of contracting the disease, also have a shortage of such equipment. So these people, when I'm having this thought, I'm thinking that they have been hoarding all of those equipment for themselves and they are commenting based on what they have, not realizing that a lot of others out there aren't actually having any face masks at all. We desperately need them, and this wouldn't be a right time and place to start blaming others. So when I was thinking this way, I looked through the different cards as well for the feel and act cards. In terms of my action, I became serious and intense and even wrote back in that Facebook comment in order to clarify some of the misconceptions people may have. And I would like to admit that at that time I was feeling very critical and judgmental towards the people over there, feeling very annoyed, very frustrated. Now, assuming that I were to go through that situation again, so I would step back and realize that, hey, you know what? Which part of this is my responsibility? So if I were to encounter another group again, I'm hoping, going through the same situation, I'm hoping that I could think in this way, that really which part of this is my responsibility? Because I would really like to feel care, love, and compassion to others around me, especially at these current times where we are all undergoing a difficult time staying at home. That I would like to be a part of the solution instead of the problem. So if I were to think about what's my responsibility, the way I could act could instead be more proactive or to take the initiative. So, for example, I had decided to instead donate some food to some volunteers who would like to feed the stray animals out there who currently do not have a source of food. I also intend to want to donate to others who may have their ability to earn financially being severely affected. And these are some of the actions that I could take instead so that I'm being part of the solution and I could instead act in a more compassionate way as opposed to get in all those unpleasant emotions and to get into those unnecessary arguments instead. So that is what I would want to do instead if I were to take a look at the situation or even to go through a similar situation again. So similarly, just like what I did, you too will be using the think, feel, and act cards in order to go through an upsetting or a challenging situation that you have recently encountered. So in the forum below, after this video is done, these are some of the things that we could do together and for us to discuss even more. So with you are some attachments that has scanned copies of different cards with different colors as well. Green, gray, and red. You will have different attachments that shows think cards, feel cards, and act cards. Think of a recently upsetting or stressful situation that you have encountered. What does it look like? What did you go through? And then as a result, pick from the attachment provided some of the think, feel, and act cards to represent how you were thinking, feeling, and acting at the time. You could pick one card each, or you could pick more. For example, you had more than one action at the time. And then you can note that down first, either by typing it out or writing it on a notebook. And then you are to re-evaluate the situation. So if you are going to encounter the situation again, would you want to think, feel, or act any differently? Again, you could go through the different attachments that's been provided to you. And if you find a card that ideally could be your thinking, feeling, or action, you could choose that instead. And if you do, will there be any changes to any other cards? For example, earlier when I was thinking that he or she is being stupid, instead I changed that to my think card, which is what part of this is my responsibility. And when I do take that think card, I realize that in terms of action, I could be more proactive or to take more initiative. And as a result, also my feeling changes. So when one card changes, other cards may change as well. Let's just note down any changes that could possibly happen by going through the different attachments. So again, you could either change just one card or you could change more than one. And just like the blank card that I've shown earlier, if there are none of those think, feel, or act cards that best represent your inner world, then you could also pick a blank card and to state that down instead. So once you have selected your initial think, feel, and act according to that stressful or upsetting situation, and then to go through it again and realize that the think, feel, and act cards could be different, write down that new set of responses that you have chosen as well, all in the forum below. I'm looking forward to reading some of them and to respond and to have that discussion with you once you're done. So let's begin right now.